before I have to go, welcome to the start of another reading vlog. I'm severely behind on reading vlogs. Basically, the goal for this one is to try to get to 80% on NetGalley. I have 57 books. In order to get to 80%, it's 45. Which ones I'm going to read first, I don't know. I'm going to put them all maybe I'm going to figure out which ones are highest priority. Second books I'm gonna cross out because I'm probably going to do like separate reading vlogs for them, so we're gonna cross out all the second books. And I have the list here. The oldest book I have is Babel, which is definitely going on the list of 45 books I have to read. Some are second books, as I said, some are first books in this series, some I cannot access at all, so those are also going to be crossed. So in the end we're going to have actually 45, less than 57 books that I have to read. And then some of them I can't read because I can't find them outside of NetGalley. I can't buy them as an ebook. They're just not available. It's not available as an ebook, and I'm not spending money on them. So I'll just have to mark them as can't read because a lot of these are the two that I'm specifically talking about. They have been archived. So yeah. I have to go catch the train, but yeah, so this is the start of a reading vlog. Got my list. I'm really gonna go on to my laptop on the train or something, and I'm going to plop in all the books. And well, I'm gonna figure out which ones I'm gonna eliminate first, and then we're gonna plop in all the books and stuff like that. So yeah, welcome to the start of the vlog. This isn't gonna be all the 45 books, so welcome to part 1. My hair looks weird. Hello, I started this Fatal Kiss. Is actually so good. Oh my god, so good. In the interim, I'm also reading Then on the Moon and Dangling Modernity along Tajikstan's Premier Highway, which is a nonfiction I found, and my library just ended up having it, the library where I work. So I got it. It's actually, as far as nonfiction goes, it's actually short. So I think I'm gonna knock this out today and continue this Fatal Kiss. So, exciting. Really excited to read this. If I like it enough, I'm gonna get a physical copy. Yeah, it's really hard to find like good books on like Tajikistan, focus solely on Tajikistan, because in the end it's going to focus on like surrounding countries as well. It's kind of not fun. I mean, appreciate the other countries for their history and what they did, but you just want to, focus on your own country. The update. I'm not super far. I'm like 7 chapters into this Fatal Kiss, but it's pretty good so far. So I'd highly recommend. Okay, hello. Apologies for the awful timing. I just came out of the shower. So I finished this Fatal Kiss, and I didn't really talk about it or anything. Basically, we follow our main girl Gisela, who becomes a Rusalka. And Rusalka are twins that were died in a body of water. And they basically haunt the living in a sense, where they basically explain it. They lure people in. They're kind of like sirens, I want to say, but if you think about the fish kind, not the bird kind. Rusalka is, at least Russian, is the word for mermaid as well as siren. We do have a word for siren, but that's a totally different conversation. That being said, we follow Gisela as she tries to figure out how she can become human, and she's told that the way to become human is if she gets a mortal to kiss her. She's a spirit, right? She's a water spirit. And so a boy named Alexei catches her eye, and she pulls in the local exorcist named Kazik, he's been trying to get rid of her, and he tries to exorcise her, and it doesn't work, and his magic has failed. And so they make a deal. He gets her close enough to the guy so that he kisses her, and she'll keep the secret that his magic is. And it's cute. It's a YA. It's really beautifully written. It's so lush in its descriptions. It's just, I know I don't seem super excited when I'm talking about this. I really, really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4.75 star rating, and the only thing that I wanted more of was the polyamorous aspect of it. I wanted more interactions when after they all sort of realized it's a love triangle, it's a literal love triangle. I wanted more from that, I think. There were a lot of interaction, but I don't know, they felt overshadowed by a lot of things, and I'm pretty sure this is not a standalone. According to some Goodreads reviews, I've come to the conclusion that it's not a standalone because that ending was not a standalone. But then again, Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Portnick also has a vague ending, but that's a standalone. Maybe I'll try to find the publisher's weekly announcement, because the author hasn't posted that. I do need book 2. I want book 2. Book 2 would be great. We get 3 POVs in this: Giselle's, Alexei's, and Kazik's. Kazik? I don't remember how it was pronounced, but I think I read Kazik in my head the entire time. So I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend. I give it a 4.75. If you like Shadow and Bone and you want more folkloric aspects, read this one. If you like the Baron and Nightingale trilogy, I haven't read it, so I don't know. I haven't read Shadow and Bone either. You'll like this one. If you liked literally any Slavic or Russian fairy tale, Russian folklore, Slavic folklore books, read this one. You know, I am #1 fan of the Slavic folklore fantasy genre, and it is untapped potential. So we'll move on to the next book. The next book is, as you will see in the next clips, probably The Maiden and Her Monster by Maddie Martinez. I'm like 20% through. I don't know how I'm feeling about it. I think I need to switch to my Kobo because my tablet is, I don't know, it's not good for my eyes, my tablet. So, I mean, tablet in general isn't good for my eyes, but I wanted to say something. Yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling about it. I think it's really rich in its culture, in its writing, in its world building. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about it right now. I think it's the format that I'm reading it. I need to switch to my Kobo. But it's really interesting so far. Basically, in this one we follow our main girl Malka, who, and this is Jewish folklore inspired. So there's the story of the golem sort of behind it all. And basically Malka lives in this area where forest sort of, there's like a curse on the forest, and there's this creature, they call it the Yarga, if I remember correctly. Basically it's young girls, like kills them after dark, and Malka is the daughter of a healer, and when her mom, and there's like sort of a church power that's coming in, and they're basically robbing the town dry, which was really frustrating to read. I know it's real life, but it was just, that doesn't mean it's less frustrating. So in a sense, it was very well depicted, I think. And basically Malka's mom went to gather herbs, and one of the church girls was found dead, and so they think that mom did it, took her blood for this sacrifice ritual or whatever, because basically Malka's people are, I hesitate to say Jewish coded, but they are Jewish coded, and the church is, I believe, the Christian church, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know much about Jewish history, but that's what I'm inferring from my limited knowledge of Jewish history. But Malka makes a deal with the priest and is like, I'm going to go into the forest and I'm going to tell you that it was an actual monster, like the monster we warned you about. No, when locals warn you about things, I don't understand why people don't listen. If locals warn you about things to the point where it's become more than local legend, maybe listen? Anyways, so Malka's like, okay, I'm gonna go into the forest and show you that it's not my mother that did it, that it's the monster, and I will bring the monster back. And so right now they're in the forest, her and Amnon, and yeah, it's pretty solid so far. I don't know if the writing style's for me per se. I'll switch to my Kobo and I'll get back to you on that. So I've read 5 books in May so far. Not even halfway through the month, so I think this will be a pretty solid reading month. What else do I want to say? Yeah, I started Murder Bot, which is really fun, but I haven't finished it yet. I'll probably finish that up too. so I can get another few books in weeks. I need to be above 6 books. So, because I think 6 has been my max in a month so far. Yeah, I think my lowest month has been, I think, about January and March. January, March, I think. No, sorry, January and April maybe. I don't remember. One of those two months so far. I read 2 books, I think. Well, because one of them was Count of Monte Cristo. So yeah. Anyways, I'm very tired. I'm gonna go to bed. I will see you once I finish the Maiden and Her Monster. I think. I don't know. Maybe a couple days. I might read something else in the meantime. I don't know. I'm not fully feeling it. I might add it back in and switch to another book because I can follow a list, but I'm also a mood reader when there's more than like 3 choices, and there's more than 3 choices, so I add it back in and just choose something else, or remove it for now and choose something else. I will get back to you on that tomorrow once I have slumbered, peaced out into dreamland. Anyways, peace out. Okay, good morning. I have 2 minutes to chat to you. Well, a little more than 2 minutes, but okay, so I've slept on it. I think I'm gonna try it on my e-reader. If I'm still not feeling the book, I'm not sure what it is about it. I think it's just, I don't know. It's a little depressing, to be honest. Which is like, it's obviously, there's a lot of real history in this, just, sort of switched out with like other names and stuff. So there's a reason why it's depressing, but I don't know. I don't need anything depressing right now. And coming from This Fatal Kiss to this one is just like absolute and utter whiplash. So I don't know. Maybe I will end up finishing it on my Kobo. Maybe I will just set it down for now. I'm not DNFing. This isn't like a hard DNF. I think I'm just gonna maybe wait till it is release date or something and see how it goes. Because I do want to, I don't know, I want to see the general public reaction if I'm feeling the same. Yeah, I'm not feeling it right now, so, and it's nothing against the author, it's nothing against the book, it's nothing, not even against the writing. The writing is gorgeous, the writing is stunning, the characters are great. It's just that, I don't know, it feels a little too depressing for me right now, and depressing book isn't what I need right now. So again, I will try it on my Kobo, see how that works, and then I will get back to you on that. I'm gonna also grab my mic because I forgot it yesterday. That's why I didn't have updates, because it would have been very loud. Yeah, okay, so that's it, I'd say. Yeah, okay, I gotta call the Uber, but that's the update. I will see how I feel about it, reading it on my Kobo, because I think the tablet also is messing with my eyes, so I'm gonna switch to my Kobo. I like my new earrings. I got new earrings, and I got a new bracelet. Okay, peace out. Hello, here's an updated. I finished the Maiden and Her Monster. It was good. I think I need to get past like the 20% mark, and then it sort of kicked off. So I did enjoy it. It was 4 stars, and as you saw, I'm now reading House of Dusk by I don't know who but yeah, it's pretty interesting so far. It's like about this girl who was a soldier, I think, and she became once called an ash dancer, which is essentially a nun with fire powers. That's all I can really tell you. And I think it's Sapphic, which, like, I love that. It's just so great, fantastic. I'm loving it. I forgot my microphone today, but let's read. Hello, we're using the mic once again. I've got updates for you. I also have like, I don't know, maybe a little over 5 minutes before I gotta haul my ass to work, but it's a gorgeous day, so I had to film outside because it's so nice and I feel alive. I'm one of those people, I'm like a flower, okay? I'm not saying this to toot my own horn because I'm pretty. No, I'm literally like, I will wilt when it gets cold. I hope the mic's okay. I didn't turn on like the noise canceling feature because I realized I didn't like how it sounded. I don't know, my voice somehow, for some reason, mics pick it up in a weird way. It doesn't sound like everyone else's, but anyways. So, I'm not super far into the 3rd book in this vlog, and I'm only doing 3 books this vlog because there's other books I want to get to. So, I'm on chapter 16 out of, I'm going to tell you right now, 41. So, I'm a little, like in terms of chapters, I'm a little over halfway through. Ish. No, sorry. A little over halfway through. What am I saying? Half of 41 is like 20 point something. I can't do math apparently. It's also really bright, and I'm starting to have a headache. There's like this very specific headache like right here, but anyways, 38% through. I don't know why I said 50%. Anyways, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would, because at first I was like sort of iffy about the whole thing, but it's literally like a fire-wielding nun, and there's a lot of influences from, I think, like, I don't want to say just Greece, but I want to say like the Mediterranean in general, because you have like the temples, and there's like sort of the House of Midnight, House of Dusk, I think there's a House of Dawn, and there's something with scarabs as well, and that scarabs gives Egyptian. It gives that specific scene in The Mummy where the guy gets like eaten by all the scarabs because he's greedy. He wants the scarabs because they look like they're made of gold. I get heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. I get the feeling that I have like scarabs all over. Anyways, scarabs, that's what it reminds me of. But another thing that sort of gives Mediterranean Greece-esque is there's this character, like this ancient character, this Ember King character, and apparently he like gets reincarnated, not the reincarnation part, but his name is Heracles, and I feel like that's a play on Hercules, like Heracles. Original name is Heracles, not Hercules, like everyone wants you to think, like the media wants you to think, pop culture wants you to think. It's actually Heracles, and I will die on that hill. I'm not going to die on that hill. I'm literally a classicist, like a classical studies student. But anyways, so I know what I'm talking about. But anyways, so I'm really enjoying it. I think the magic is very cool. Yeah, and then there's this, another thing is, the reason I hesitate to say Mediterranean is because there's this serpent aspect. The big bad guy is called the serpent. The serpent, like, the big bad guy is a serpent character. He's called the serpent. And yeah, maybe it went over my head, but we don't know too much about it. We just know that he's the supposed bad guy, but turns out he might not even be the bad guy. The reason why I hesitate to say Mediterranean, I'm getting to my point, is because in ancient Egyptian mythology, you have the serpent that devours Ra, that devours the sun. And that's what it's giving me, because that's what it's giving. It's giving ancient Egyptian mythology. It's giving Egyptian mythology. And while I'm not an Egyptologist, I had a phase. Hence why I mentioned The Mummy earlier on. I had a phase. And one hell of a phase. But what else did I want to say? The Sapphic romance. I'm vibing with it. I just love how all 3 books had like queer rep. It's great. It's fantastic. And it's a bodyguard princess Sapphic romance. At first I thought it was going to be between like the nun
and the bodyguard. But now I'm seeing it's between the bodyguard and the princess, because those two, the nun and the bodyguard, haven't even met. And I'm thinking the nun is gonna have a slight like enemies to lovers romance with this one guy who seems to be a good guy, but not in the way you'd expect it, because basically he shattered all her prior beliefs about the serpent. That's why I say the serpent is like a bad guy, apparently, if I said that. But so it's like, it's interesting because it plays with like sort of myths and storytelling and all that, and it's like, what is the truth, what isn't, what was fabricated, and stuff like that. So that was interesting. It's interesting, I think. Yeah. Which is, it's just something, you know, the whole myth and folklore and fairy tale thing, it's also a common thread in the Maiden and Her Monster, which is very interesting. And also Sunrise on the Reaping. But Sunrise on the Reaping is more like about the propaganda and that kind of story. But I guess it would be kind of the same regardless of what time period you put it in. Anyways, I just find that an interesting common theme that just ended up happening, especially when we're in the age that we are in, especially in these turbulent times. For those that don't know, I'm Canadian, so we've been on the receiving end of everything that, you know, the Cheeto has been saying, so to speak, about like Canada becoming the 51st state and how the US doesn't need Canada, but Canada needs the US, which is the most absurd bullshit I have ever heard come out of that man's mouth. Like, I don't know how Mark Carney kept it together. Thank God we elected him, because holy shit, if it was Pierre Poilievre on that chair in front, oh my God, he would have given us up in like the first, why isn't it buzzing? In the first like 5 minutes of him becoming prime minister. Why is it not buzzing? What the hell? I have to hold my ass to, it's not buzzing. Why is it not buzzing? Hello? Buzz, please? I don't know, it's not buzzing. Huh, I guess it didn't, okay. Well, I got a haul ass to work. So that's the update. I'm gonna put my mic away. Yeah, that's the update. I'm really enjoying House of Dusk. I would highly recommend it if you want something interesting. Keep it on your radar. It's not out yet. I will put the release date whenever it happens. Editing Mila will take care of that. But yeah, that's it for me. I have to haul my ass to work, and I will talk to you at another point. Peace out. Hello, here's a small update. I didn't read House of Dusk after I left off with you, but I did. I'm annotating this for one of my work friends. Well, she's like a friend outside of work too. Like, we've hung out together, more so in a group setting, but yeah. So I'm annotating this for her. It's a little rough around the edges, unfortunately, but I think she'll enjoy it regardless, and I'm annotating this for her, and I am on book 11, which is the Book of the Dead, when Odysseus and his crew go down to the underworld after they have ended up on Circe's island, so she sends them off. I'm annotating this for her because she's one of my closest friends, first off, and she introduced me to Epic the Musical. So not only am I annotating it with the knowledge inside my head about the Odyssey that I've read countless times, both in full view, like front to back, and then bits and pieces in between for various reasons, and also in like injecting parts of like writing parts of the lyrics from Epic the Musical for specific scenes that she sort of, I don't know, I guess understands where that lyric comes from. I'm sure she does understand. I think she knows the general story of the Odyssey, not just from the musical, but from like stuff she's read and stuff like that, and stuff we've talked about. But I don't think, you know, she'll know exactly what lyric comes from and stuff like that. And obviously it's not all the lyrics, but it's just a fun like Easter egg that's like sort of between us. And I added this like thing that's like a personal library of kind of thing.
Finally made it to the garden. That was brutal. I'm still working on figuring out how to make a proper matcha, but this is the peach matcha from David's Tea. I think I added a bit too much milk. I also bought this silk oat creamer that's in caramel, so yeah, a little bit of that. Figure out the proper ratio and stuff, so it's still a little difficult because my kettle doesn't have like the specific temperature settings, so yeah, it's okay though. It's tasty. And I need to make more ice because I feel like matcha, for me, I like it better iced than hot. But this is the little thing it comes in. I don't know how much I like it though. You never know with companies like this, you know, like how legit their matcha is. A lot of companies are like, oh, this is like the prime matcha from Japan. Like, okay. You're a multi-million-dollar company. What are you not telling me? You know, there's always that, like, confusion. Like, what are you not telling me? Hello, I need to finally film the ending for this damn vlog that I keep on putting off. So, this is the end of the vlog. To recap, I read this Fatal Kiss, which was 4.75 stars. I read The Maiden and Her Monsters, which I rated 4.5 stars. And I read House of Dusk, which I also rated 4.75 stars. And if I were to put them on a scale from best to, from the one I like the most to the one I liked all of them. But if I were to say which one I liked the most, I liked House of Dusk the most, and then it would be Fatal Kiss, and then it would be Maiden and Her Monster. All fantastic, all good. I just think that The Maiden and Her Monster was a little too slow for my liking, personally. I think it was fantastic. I still think it was fantastic. And yeah, I don't know. I liked House of Dusk a lot. So there's that. And yeah, I don't know if I even gave a description of House of Dusk, or I know I gave a description of this Fatal Kiss and The Maiden and Her Monster, I think. But I don't think I gave a description of House of Dusk. Basically, we follow two POVs, Daenerys and Sapphic. I think I'm saying that correctly. Sapphic is a fire-wielding nun for the House of Dawn. And there are 4 different houses. There's this House of the Scarab, House of House of Dawn, House of Dusk, House of Midnight, and something else, I think. And so for the House of Dawn, you have the Phoenix as the god, okay? And then you have Daenerys, who is a bodyguard for a specific princess, and then this whole like reincarnation thing that goes around and stuff. And there's a lot of influences from Mediterranean culture, I want to say specifically Greece, and maybe like vibes temple-wise, I think vibes from like Egypt and like Arab countries, I want to say like maybe pre-Islam Arab countries, which wouldn't make them, anyways, you know what I mean. So it was a really good book. It was fantastic. We are reading this for, I believe, I want to say October, if I'm remembering correctly. No, sorry, November, because this is one of the other options if you haven't read The Will of the Many, because we're reading Strength of the Few as well as House of Dusk. I wanted to give a second option. That video will come eventually for the book club stuff. That video will come eventually, but yeah. So basically, cool. Okay, that's all, I think. Thank you for watching this vlog. I know I've been out of it. It's a lot of mental, anyways. Hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I will see you in the next video. Happy reading. And as usual, subscribe, comment, like, follow me on all my socials. Yeah, peace out.